Duracell.
Good morning, America. This morning, deadly wildfires. The firefighter father killed battling the flames. The red flag warnings and heat advisories, with part of the nation bracing for the hottest day of the summer.
High stakes, controversial summit. President Trump's one-on-one with Vladimir Putin now just hours away. Will he confront Russia's leader about those new indictments involving election meddling, with new calls this morning to cancel the summit altogether? We're live from Helsinki.
Emergency landing, the frightening flight, passengers grabbing oxygen masks when the plane takes a dive.
Kids shouting, "Mommy, am I gonna die?"
Dozens of passengers rush to the hospital.
Caught on camera, look at this. The hero clerk who helped a woman begging for help to escape alleged kidnappers. Her brave actions delivering those suspects straight into the hands of police.
And Serena's spirit, a defeat at Wimbledon, but winning hearts around the globe. Her message to moms everywhere.
I was playing for you today, and I tried, but
And the prediction from the woman who defeated her.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Oh, over there.
Good morning, everyone. Ron and Adrian are off this morning. That means that Rob, once he comes back over here, is going to finally get a well-deserved seat at the table. He is hiding right now. And for Pop News today, backed by popular demand, the one and only Samuel Champion.
I think I was just the only one available.
No. I was the one popularly demanded. Thank you, Sam. Great to have you on a Sunday morning. This is a big news morning. T-minus 1 day until the historic and controversial summit between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. You're looking at a live shot we've got of Helsinki, the capital of Finland, where that meeting will take place. This morning, President Trump making some news by saying he has low expectations for this encounter. We're going to have much more in this story coming up.
But we do want to start here with the dire fire situation in the West. Right now, 30 uncontained fires are burning, and overnight a firefighter lost his life on the front lines of the Ferguson fire, which is raging near Yosemite. A road to the national park was shut down at the height of tourist season.
The extreme heat is, of course, making all of this much more dangerous, and Rob is tracking that. Rob, good morning.
And some of that heat, Dan, is across the Pacific Northwest, where we're seeing more fires break out. This is east of Seattle on the other side of the Cascades, Baker Lake, Washington. A small fire. The Ferguson fire there near Yosemite, a small fire as well, but very aggressive, only 5% contained, as we mentioned, taking the life of that one firefighter. Here is where we're looking at heat today. It's going to be building over the next couple of days, with temperatures approaching, if not surpassing 100 degrees. And with that, and gusty winds, we're looking at red flag warnings across parts of southern Oregon, northern Nevada, northern California, and excessive heat warning in some of these areas. Near record-breaking heat today in Portland, might be the hottest day of the summer, and then building across California and southern Oregon right through Tuesday. So triple-digit stuff there. This is going to be an ongoing story, unfortunately, for the next few weeks. Guys, back to you.
Rob, thank you. Much more from you throughout the show this morning. Now to the historic face-off between Presidents Trump and Putin. The drama and the controversy heightened by the fact that Special Counsel Robert Mueller just indicted 12 Russian intelligence officials for hacking the 2016 election.
The president is saying he has low expectations for the Monday meeting, and as a warm-up, he's getting in some golf this weekend at his club in Scotland. So what's on the agenda? Will he confront Putin over election meddling? ABC's Terry Moran is right there in Helsinki. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, guys. In many ways, this is the main event of the Trump presidency on foreign policy, and that's because, as you point out, the unique circumstances surrounding Russia and this presidency. High on the agenda, at least for President Putin, is going to be Syria. He's been meeting with the president of Iran, the prime minister of Israel. He wants to get something done on that score. But for President Trump, listening to him, it sounds like this is an opportunity for him to size Vladimir Putin up and see what kind of business he can do with him. President Trump hitting the links in Scotland again this morning, golfing his favorite pastime, and he tweeted, "My primary form of exercise," adding a Twitter plug for his own Trump Turnberry Resort. This place is incredible. Next stop, Helsinki, the Finnish capital on the Baltic Sea with a long history of east-west symmetry. The president telling CBS News he's keeping his expectations here in check.
But I go in with low expectations. I'm not going in with high expectations. I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I can tell you what I'll be asking for, and we'll see if something comes of it.
The indictment of 12 Russian military intelligence agents for hacking the Democratic National Committee and the Clinton campaign in 2016 raises the stakes here and puts pressure on President Trump to defend American democratic institutions. But as he showed again last week at NATO, President Trump claims there's not much he can do to deter Putin.
He may deny it. I mean, it's one of those things. So all I can do is say, did you, and don't do it again. But he may deny. I mean, well, you'll be the first to know.
And today with CBS News, he blames President Obama, as some of Obama's own aides have, for not stopping the hacking, and he even blames the Democrats themselves for being hacked.
Again, this was during the Obama administration. They were doing whatever it was during the Obama administration. And I heard that they were trying, or people were trying to hack into the RNC too, the Republican National Committee. But we had much better defenses. I've been told that by a number of people. We had much better defenses, so they couldn't. I think the DNC should be ashamed of themselves for allowing themselves to be hacked.
But Democrats, wary of a scheduled one-on-one Trump-Putin meeting, no aides involved, are calling for this summit to be canceled altogether.
If he and his team are not willing to make the subject of this indictment of Russian interference a top priority in the Helsinki meeting, then the meeting should be canceled.
There's no chance of that happening. President Trump going to go ahead with this summit and with that one-on-one meeting. He sees this whole Russia hacking in 2016 story as a challenge to his legitimacy, but there are a lot of Americans and, frankly, a lot of intelligence professionals who want to see him one-on-one with Putin stand up and defend the American democracy. Guys?
All right, Terry, thank you very much for your reporting from Helsinki. For more on this, we want to bring in ABC's chief White House correspondent, John Karl, who's hosting This Week a little bit later this morning in D.C. John, good morning to you. So I've got to ask you, you spoke just moments ago with the president's national security advisor, John Bolton. You asked him specifically if he was blindsided, if the president was, by those 12 indictments earlier this week. Let's take a listen.
He was perfectly prepared to have it come before the meeting with Putin. I would say, in fact, it strengthens his hand. It shows that the justice system, the Department of Justice, are aware of these Russian efforts at election meddling. And I think the president can put this on the table and say, this is a serious matter. We need to talk about it.
So John Bolton is saying that this strengthens the president's hand. What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, this was a fascinating interview. And in that clip right there, you hear him both say that it strengthens his hand, but also saying that the president can put this on the table and say this is a serious matter. This, just after the president himself, when he was asked, already knowing about the indictments, and called Mueller's investigation a rigged witch hunt that hurts our relationship with Russia. I think this is absolutely fascinating. The question is, does the National Security Advisor reflect the views of the president who he advises on this question? Will President Trump really put this in a serious way to Vladimir Putin? I mean, we just heard from the National Security Advisor that he will. I think there are reasons to doubt that, but this will be fascinating in how it tees up this summit.
Sometimes there is daylight between the president and his aides, no question about it, especially on this issue. The Mueller probe is looming over this entire affair. This morning, the Washington Post is quoting people familiar with the investigation as saying the special counsel is pushing to wrap up a significant portion of his investigative work by the end of the summer. What do we know about that?
Well, first of all, it's extremely difficult to discern what is actually going on with Robert Mueller in the special counsel investigation. I had been hearing similarly for a long time, but the Post, in their reporting, has significant caveats. Things could delay it. One thing that could delay it is the fact that the president is apparently not going to agree to a sit-down interview. So I believe there is little doubt that Mueller would like to see this thing wrapped up by summer, but big questions about whether or not it actually will be.
Yes, and one of the questions is, will he issue a subpoena here? John Karl, thank you. And
Thanks,
I want to remind everybody, John's got a big show this morning. You can watch the rest of what he describes as a fascinating interview with the White House National Security Advisor, John Bolton.
Plus, the Powerhouse Roundtable debates the week in politics, including the fallout over the latest Mueller indictments on Russian interference in the 2016 election. That's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC.
And while we have you, another program note, you're going to want to tune in on Monday when ABC News will have complete live coverage of the Trump-Putin summit. That starts at 6 a.m. Eastern.
We want to switch gears here a little bit and turn now to a horrifying discovery made by police in Florida.
A storage room filled, they say, with everything you would need to set off a towering inferno, leading to the arrest of a 72-year-old man. And ABC's Victor Oquendo has more.
A man is behind bars without bond after police say they caught him in the act trying to burn down his Miami Beach condo in an alleged plot to, quote, kill the Jews. This morning, there are growing calls to prosecute the incident as a hate crime. Police discovering a stockpile of dangerous materials after receiving a tip from this man who says he heard 72-year-old Walter Stolper making violent threats.
He was tired of the association in his building and these Jews in the building. He told me that he was going to burn the building.
Stolper saying he purchased electric fans to accelerate the flames and padlocks to prevent firefighters from responding. Residents at the condo complaining of a strong odor of gasoline.
Our detectives intercepted him with 2 filled gasoline containers. He had already poured gasoline down 15 floors of this building.
Police discovering sulfur powder, potassium nitrate, and 28 more containers filled with gasoline inside the storage unit, materials commonly used to create an explosive device.
This is a classic case of see something, say something. This person made comments to a witness, and the witness called us, and thank God the witness did.
Stolper was recently served an eviction notice after showing anger and aggression towards the condominium residents and the board of directors on multiple occasions. A search of his apartment revealing more disturbing clues into a possible motive.
Inside of the unit, we found Nazi reading material as well as a swastika. Our detectives also seized 2 firearms.
Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Miami Beach.
This is a wild story. The FBI and the ATF now investigating federal charges are likely to be added to the attempted arson and attempted murder charges that Stolper is currently facing. As the police say, classic case of see something, say something. Yeah. We want to move on now to the nearly 3 dozen airline passengers sent to the hospital after a terrifying flight.
As you can see, oxygen masks were deployed when the plane took a sudden plunge. Some of those passengers now describing the harrowing experience, and ABC's Janae Norman has more.
Panic in the air as this flight bound for Croatia quickly turns into a nightmare for the 189 passengers on board.
Not fun.
The chaos unfolding nearly 2 hours after takeoff from Ireland.
The plane just started to go downwards.
FlightRadar24.com showing Ryanair flight FR 7312 apparently losing cabin pressure, rapidly descending more than 28,000 feet in less than 10 minutes. Video from inside the cabin showing passengers wearing oxygen masks, unsure of what could happen next. Roxanne Brownlee and Sarah Sahelnick describe what it was like.
Like children crying and kids shouting, "Mommy, am I gonna die?" We're fitting the oxygen masks on and the plane is just plummeting. And we're going down very quickly.
The flight making an emergency landing in Frankfurt, Germany. 33 passengers had to be hospitalized. The loss of pressure in the cabin causing them to suffer from headaches, earaches, nausea, even bleeding from the ears. But many of them just glad to be alive.
We're genuinely surprised to be alive. I think I can safely say it was the most terrifying thing I ever experienced.
And Ryanair is blaming an in-flight depressurization. The airline has apologized, saying it provided customers with vouchers for food and hotel, but it admits there weren't enough available accommodations for everyone. Dan and Paula.
Harrowing experience for all of those passengers, Janae. Thank you very much. We want to move now to an unusual traffic stop in Arizona. A state lawmaker was pulled over for speeding and then brags to the deputy that he was going even faster a little bit earlier, and the whole thing, it was caught on camera.
And here's the twist. That state representative didn't get a ticket. He got off scot-free. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here to explain what's going on here, Ariel.
Hey, good morning to you, Dan and Paula. That video was released just weeks before the lawmaker faces a crowded primary election. This morning, he's facing major backlash for invoking legislative immunity to get him out of a ticket.
It's the shocking body cam video of an Arizona lawmaker bragging to police that he'd brazenly broken the law behind the wheel.
97 is absolutely not 120.
When he's pulled over for speeding, State Representative Paul Mosley wryly admits to officers he's done much worse in the past.
You were driving 130 earlier, you said? Yeah, I go 130, 140, 120.
Then invokes legislative immunity, a law that says during the legislative session, lawmakers can't be arrested for most crimes.
I don't break the law because I can, but because just trying to get home 130. Well. Okay. Well, your logic is flawed for me.
Typically, that's not when legislative immunity would be asserted. It would be asserted once a civil action or criminal proceeding has been brought in a court of law.
The father of 7, a freshman Republican legislator up for re-election in just weeks, now facing an ethics complaint filed by a fellow member of his own party. The Arizona Fraternal Order of Police pulling its endorsement of Mosley's campaign, citing his, quote, recklessness and utter disregard for the safety of the public.
It was unanimous to pull the endorsement immediately.
Mosley issuing a mea culpa on Facebook, writing, legislative immunity is a serious responsibility that I should not have taken lightly or abused. I have no excuse for any of this, only regret for my actions.
Mosley didn't get a ticket, as we talked about when this happened in March. The sheriff's office says the officer actually called a lawyer during the stop and was following the law by letting him go. The case has been forwarded now to the county prosecutors, who will decide whether or not to press charges against Mosley. But he's now asking for the public's forgiveness, saying this was a really, really bad decision.
Yeah, well, maybe we should also take a look at legislative immunity.
Yeah.
True.
Ariel, thank you. Appreciate
Use of
it.
power at its finest. Thanks very much, Ariel. And as we said earlier, Ron remains out this morning, so Dan and I are going to do our best to bring you some of the other stories that are making news this morning.
That's right. We're going to start in Chicago, where violent protests broke out after a man was fatally shot by police on the city's south side Saturday morning. The crowd throwing bottles and rocks at police and jumping on top of squad cars. 4 protesters arrested, and a handful of officers got hurt here. Police say the fatal shooting happened when the suspect reached for a weapon as officers approached him.
Overseas in Thailand, we are seeing new images of the 12 young soccer players who were rescued along with their coach after getting trapped inside a flooded cave. For the first time, we're seeing those boys without their surgical masks, as doctors say they are recovering well. The group posing with a poster of that Thai Navy SEAL right here who lost his life during the difficult rescue. British divers told the newspaper The Mail on Sunday they knew that they would get the boys out, but just didn't think that they would all be alive. And miraculously, they were.
They were, and the coach too. Back here in the U.S., in Florida, we're now hearing from a man who's recovering, as you can see, in a hospital bed after he says he was bitten by a shark on Friday. Dustin Theobald says he was walking in shallow water with his son when he felt something clamp down on his foot.
Jerked left and right real fast, and then I turned around to reach back to grab my foot because I didn't really hit me what was going on, and that's when I felt the shark. I grabbed it like its head.
Not what you want. Doctors say it will take Theobald about 6 weeks to recover from his wound. This was one of 2 shark attacks reported on the same beach on Friday.
Glad to see he is recovering. And as promised, look who's got a seat at the table this morning. Doesn't it feel
Sam's
good?
been lobbying hard for me. So thank you, Sam.
Can I just say, viewers have tried to reason with me and say, please get the man a chair.
Well, we see
and we're giving you a chair.
We see what kind of power you wield here.
None.
It wasn't until Sam showed up that I got a seat.
It's true.
Let's show you what's going on across the southwest. The monsoon in full force here. Kanab, Utah. Downtown there, seeing a couple of inches of rainfall and flash flooding yesterday. Best Friends Animal Society has a sanctuary out there. I hope all the animals and my friends that run that place are okay. We're looking at more rain today in this area. Las Vegas, or near Las Vegas, a half an inch of rain in some spots in 5 minutes. So that'll get flash flooding going as well. We got flash flood watches up for the front range of the Colorado Rockies down through New Mexico as well. So that will continue. And this front's going to kind of squeeze the moisture out of the air. Very humid across the eastern third of the country the next 36 hours, and then once that front comes through, it squeezes even more out. So we could see 2 to 3 inches of rainfall in some of these spots. It'll be dry across the west coast and hazy, hot, and humid across the central U.S. That's a check on the national headlines. Time now for a look at your local forecast.
Good morning from the Stormwatch 7 Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Ryan Miller, waking up to some cloud cover, especially north of Washington this morning. And yeah, we've got a few showers and storms across Pennsylvania. Most of that activity looks to stay in Pennsylvania, but we will have an opportunity to see a few showers and storms this afternoon. 20% chance of seeing some storms today, 30% chance tomorrow, hot and humid. For the All-Star game on Tuesday, looking at 92 and a good chance of seeing some rain, but less humid and beautiful weather Wednesday and Thursday.
A lot of international sporting events happening today. The World Cup final and breakfast at Wimbledon, where it's going to be kind of toasty over there.
A little toasty?
UK. Yeah, awesome.
Teeing us up nicely.
What do you got?
For the next story. Serena Williams being praised as a winner this morning, even in the face of defeat.
The tennis star gave a really emotional speech after playing in the Wimbledon final just 10 months after giving birth, which her husband revealed was a life and death situation. And ABC's Julia McFarland is at Wimbledon with more.